Well, the remake for Point Break 2015 just hit YouTube, and people are already sharing their opinions on it. Welcome back, everyone. This is Jason, aka J Bone of the Ramblin' About Wrestling podcast, here to bring you something a little different, not wrestling related. It's my thoughts on a remake that has always been one of my personal favorites. As far as action movies, um, it's a movie from my childhood. This came out while I was in high school, and back then it was one of a kind, and was one of the best at the beginning of the '90s as far as action movies. Anybody my age knows it starred Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves, um, among others. Gary Busey was the older FBI guy, um, and in my opinion, not many movies can uh, touch this one. Some of the newer ones, like the Fast and Furious, obviously excellent movies. Um, and now, and now there's this. I'll be honest. When I first heard about this remake about a year ago, and I heard Gerard Butler was in. They were trying to get Gerard Butler on for it to play Bodhi. I My first thought of the remake was like, no, they just can't. And then, because nothing in Hollywood is sacred anymore. They're remaking freaking everything. Watch, within the next few years, they're gonna remake Back to the Future. Shit like that. It's like, there's some movies from your childhood, you know, that just stand the test of time, in my opinion, and they should not be touched. Um, so I was like, okay. When I saw the headline on Facebook on the side panel, new trailer came out for the Point Break remake. I was like, oh, geez, here we go. Um, I was like, okay, let's check it out. So I watched it, and my first thought is, well, it's not exactly a remake. Okay, this, in my opinion, is more like a reboot. The plot line is the same. You've got extreme guys that are doing, bank robberies or whatever, but it's not just surfing. It's these guys they look like they're traveling all over the world in this movie, whereas the first one from '91, I'm feeling really freaking old. The first one was all just based on surfing. Well, there was the skydiving towards the end. Um, but in this one, there's skydiving, and the money's all over the place in the air, and it's raining money. Uh, they're robbing banks, and they're jumping off of cliffs, and they're doing that kind of skydiving where they got what is that, the wind suits. You're like flying, but you're not really like gliding. I don't know what they call it. Wind glide suits. If you go to that one YouTube page, I think it's called Epic. Epic something. Maybe it's just called Epic. I subscribed to it about a year ago. They do all the extreme um, sports, whether it be skydiving or whatever, all that stuff. And, so this movie covers a lot of different extreme sports. And when I was watching it, you can immediately tell who's who. Um, the let's see here. Film stars Edgar Ramirez. He was in Zero Dark 30, Bourne Ultimatum. Um, he plays Bodhi. Luke Bracey was in G.I. Joe Retaliation, The November Man. He plays Johnny Utah, along with Ray Winstone. Oh, he plays what the character that was Gary Busey's character. I saw him in the trailer. He was in The Departed. He was one of the Jack Nicholson side guys. Was that guy? Teresa Palmer. She was in Warm Bodies. She was also in um, oh, I Am Number 4. Yeah. I just quick Wikipedia'd her and saw that movie pop up. So, so these actors aren't, they didn't get major stars for this. Um, I was just reading some stuff underneath the trailer from Warner Brothers. So, yeah, I watched it once and was kind of, nodding my head. I was like, okay, all right. And then I watched it one more time, gave it one more, it wasn't going to make my opinion off of just one view. Watched it a couple times. Second time, I was like, all right. I think this is going to be a good movie. I'm, there's part of me that really wants to love this, and there's like the kid in me that's like, oh no, just, no, why, you know. Um, is it going to be better than the first? I don't think anything's going to be better than the first. But it does look like it's going to be good. It does look like it's going to have a lot of action. I'm sure the acting is going to be fine. I'm sure they're going to, change a few things here and there. But obviously, you know, Johnny Utah is after the group, the infamous group. With the exception of the group, there's no president's masks. I wanted president's masks. I think everybody who loves Point Break wanted the president's masks. Maybe there will be some kind of nod to the classic, and you'll see something in there with president's masks somewhere in it. I don't know. We'll have to see. This is the first trailer. This comes out at Christmas, or on Christmas, so I'm sure there's going to be another trailer or two to follow up. So my first impression is I like it. I don't know if I love it, but I like it. I'm giving it a chance. Whereas a year ago, I was like, right there, I was like, no, you can't. No, you can't. Point Break is one of my all-time favorite movies, and I think the action is going to make up for most people's opinion on this, honestly. Um, because that is one of the highlights of the old movie. Um, just just the scene where Keanu Reeves is chasing Patrick Swayze, sorry, um, through that neighborhood, through houses, over fences. Just that scene with the car chase, it was just crazy. It's one of the best scenes in the whole movie. And I'm hoping we get something that resembles that in this movie. So yeah, I could go on forever with this, but I'm not going to. So that's my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I sincerely want to hear some opinions on this. You know, even if you're just watching this and you're not a fan of my wrestling videos and you saw that somebody was doing a review on Point Break, give me your opinion on this. I don't do too many of these, related to movies, but this is, like I said, it's one of my all-time favorite movies, so I had to do something on this. Thanks for watching, guys.